Hola, Bob here. On this week's video we do a repair to a gate, put an electric fence up, and there's a recipe for you to see as well. So if you'd like to follow on and see what else we get done. So the builders have been again today. We're now starting to get a little bit built up. I know it don't look like they've done a great deal, but they've actually backfilled a lot of this wall here, going quite high up, and there is some really deep holes what they're having to fill. So as you can probably see there's more hole than wall, and a few bits up there as well, but they're also starting to pull out now, which is obviously a slow process because they don't want the rest of it to come down on top of them, which I can't say I blame them. So now we've taken some of the wall out all the way through to Ellie Rose's house. Some more of that up there has got to come out until they reach about 3/4 of the way down this wall. But yeah, they're getting it all filled up. I know it looks a bit rough, but this is going to be inside the wall when it's built. Yeah, I don't think they're doing bad. 2 lads on it. So things are progressing with the building of the middle wall, the barn wall. A bit of a fall yesterday brought some more of the stone out, as you can probably see. The rest was taken out just to make it safe to work near, but the reason why the wall's coming out is, if you can see that, how far it's leaning. It's quite a way out, all the way up. So yeah, to make it safe and secure for building later, that's having to come, some of that's having to come down as well. So some of this beam will be coming out later today. Yeah, obviously that's been blocked up to support that beam over Ellie Rose's, which get sorted later. So as you can probably see today, they're making some progress building up the wall. The only problem is the hole's actually getting bigger. I can understand why, you know, we did say about this wall having to come out, but they've filled a lot of this in now. Filled most of this in up to the top of the wall, but obviously that's going to have a concrete beam on when we get the height sorted, because it needs lifting a little bit. Where there's bits like this sticking out, obviously you can't get a block there, so what they're doing is infilling, which yeah, makes quite a good job. You know, it's just takes that piece out instead of trying to pull that out and do more damage, because that's into the actual concrete floor there, I believe. So, and they're having to use some of the blocks obviously to hold the beams up. As you can see, it's quite big beams. As you can see by that one, that's one reason why we're having them replaced, because they're rotten. This one doesn't look that bad at this end, but at the other end it's quite bad and it's got quite bent. So yeah, and this one has been chopped off now. That's the one that had the big curve in it earlier. So that's taken that out, and I put a few beams in just to brace it, just while we while they get sorted. So yeah, things are moving ahead, but it's yeah, bit down, bit up, you know. Still, you know, it'll be done. It's going to be done. It's going to be safe, and that's the main thing. So this morning I'm going to sort of attempt to make a gate to replace this thing that's broken and fallen down. I'll just show you what I mean. So this lean-to thing has been here since we came, to be honest. We used it as a temporary gate just to stop the dogs running down to the bottom gardens when we, so we knew where they were. But now the goats have decided they want to come up this way as well. So I'm just going to knock together a little lean-to gate just to stop the goats. It won't have any hinges or anything on it, it's just going to be lent on it. It seemed to put them off before, so hopefully it will now. And then some future date we're going to pull this wall down anyway, probably, so yeah, we'll have to put a gate from one end to the other. But at the moment it's just to stop the goats coming through and the dogs going down and chasing after them. So my idea is it's just going to be a 4 planks of wood just to make a frame, and then I'm going to put some like branches in between them just to make like bars, make it look a little bit rustic and what have you, you know, and use up some of the wood what we've already got. As you know, I like using up stuff we've already got, so that's what we're going to try and do. So as you can probably see, I've got my favourite sabre saw out. This tries taking my fingers off. Hopefully not again. I have checked this one for nails around where I'm going to cut, so hopefully it won't be anywhere near. As you can see, it's a bit difficult without a vice out like that. So what I'm going to do is get my wheelbarrow out, and then I can kneel on it to stop it moving about. So first of all I'll just mark some more. So as you can see, I've decided to not use the wheelbarrow, and I'm going to use a chair instead. It's a lot easier just to kneel on and then do my cutting from there. So this is only a quick do, as I said. We will be taking the wall out at some point, so make it somewhere near square, but as it's only standing up against it, it doesn't need to be absolutely spot on. Just look a bit presentable, you know. If it doesn't look anywhere near, Debbie will soon be telling me off. So my idea is to just make a square frame like that. I'll just put a couple of screws in it just to hold it. I'm going to put a couple more at either side, and then I'm going to put some poles up and down just to pretty it up. So that's the general idea. Now what I'm going to do is put some wood across there using some round poles, if I've got some screws long enough. Yeah, so a bit of a change of plan. I went and got this this wood. I was going to cut the ends off and make a barred gate, make it look a little bit nicer once I've got the nails out. But as you can see, my screws aren't going to be long enough, and I haven't got any the right size. I've either got these or some a mile long. So what I'm just going to do is just plank it and make it like a ledged and brace type gate. So sometimes you win. It'll still look okay, you know, it'll do the job for now, which is all we want it to do, really. Yeah, I'd like it to look a bit rustic, but yeah, you know, we can always do that when we do full gate across. So what I'm going to do now is just cut 3 pieces of wood, 74 centimetres, so that they fit across. Depending on how stiff it is, then I'll decide whether I'm just going to brace it with a diagonal beam. Probably won't need to, but we'll see. So that's it, it's just rough and ready. It's stable enough, I don't need to put a cross brace on it. I didn't think I would, to be honest, but yeah. As I say, it's just going to stand up against the wall here to replace the one that was broken. And it does just stand up nicely like that, and that'll just stop the dogs dashing down. So this will just stop Alfie running down. If Mabel wants to be through, she'll just push her way through anyway, she always does. Alfie wouldn't hurt him, and same with Dottie, she's too small anyway to hurt him, but he will run to see what they are, which scares them. If there's a barrier between them, it just sort of puts him off a little bit and gives them a little bit of, yeah, he can't get me sort of thing. So, yeah, so I'll get rid of this old rubbishy thing, and yeah, that'll do us for a bit, and as I say, until we probably take the wall out. Don't look as nice as what I thought it might do with round poles, but it'd have just been left until we got some screws and what have you, so, and it needed to be up straight away. So we've just been to do a bit of shopping for some fencing for the goats. So I've got some electric fencing. We didn't intend having electric fencing, but so we can move them around and keep them in different areas at the moment. We decided that's maybe the better way. I don't really like electric fencing as such. yeah, we'll give it a whirl and see how it goes. We also got some shade netting and some corn for the hens. Well, Portuguese goats will eat it as well, I don't know. But these primarily for the hens. So that was our little shopping trip to Kavir.
So this morning we've got Steve's out nice and early, starting to get the electric fencing up for the goats. It's not something I'm very keen on, isn't electric fencing. I was always a bit concerned because I've seen people say that sometimes, you know, it doesn't work, especially if you're using solar powered. At the moment we're going to just use it from the mains, but we will think about using solar panels. We've just got a very cheeky little goat here that's just come for a look. What are you doing, Mabel? Have you come to see what's going on? She's coming up and letting me touch her hand, but sorry, she's coming up and touching my hand, not the other way around. She's not quite letting me stroke her yet. I'm just leaving her. She'll sort herself out. So yeah, so we looked at very many different methods of fencing and decided that in the end this might probably be the better option. We're always here with the goats. They're never left out on their own anyway. So yeah, we thought it might be better because we can move the fencing around, so we can cover the whole area if we want to, bit by bit. So we'll leave Steve to that, and we'll come back and see how he's getting on. He's just putting these black things on at the moment. Now you have 3 strings high, and obviously they hold the strings. So yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute and see how he's doing.
So this is the electric fence set up for Annie and Mabel.
Foolish one. That's working.
That's working.
Yeah.
Just put your hand on it and see.
I can see the light flashing.
That's cheating. That is cheating.
That is. You got to test it. Got to make sure it works.
Go on then.
No chance.
Yeah, that's working.
I was hoping for more of a reaction than that.
No. It's not bad, and I ain't going to go back hand. So I've just tried the solar panel direct onto the charge controller for the electric fence, and although it does put a slight output, it's not it puts power into the controller. I can see the light come on, but it's not enough to make it pulse. So I thought it was an 80 watt solar panel, but it's only 40, so that's probably why. Probably an 80 or 100 would have done it fine. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll get a battery and put it in between, and then charge the battery using the solar panel, and take it off mains, because at the moment we're using it by mains power, which obviously has got to be unplugged every night. So yeah, and we can't use it in the rain, but But having said that, goats don't like rain anyway.
Annie?
No.
Got herself.
I don't even know whether that's on there.
Little one's got it because she went, eh!
She did.
We've got the farmer here from next door who's cutting our bottom terrace for us. Which is really kind of him. Oh, it's looking amazing. So I feared that the goats would still get through the wires even despite being zapped, and they have. This is our third attempt at bringing them back in after they've been zapped and then still jump through the wires despite getting an electric shock. But this time they seem to have figured it out a little bit because they are actually now moving away from the fence and not through it. Yeah, let's hope. The farmer's cutting my wildflowers.
So this afternoon we're going to put another line around the electric fence because with 3 on it the goats decided they could still come up, get a shot but jump through it. Whether that's because they're not seeing it as a fence or whatever, I don't know, or maybe it's just they need to get used to it. But because of that and because of how big Mabel is, which is the littlest goat, we've moved these downwards, which obviously leaves quite a space at the top. So I'm going to put another one round, and then, as I say, hopefully that'll keep them in. Now I haven't got another connector for my gate. I use these clamp-on things for it. Can't remember what they call them.
Carabiner clips.
Carabiner clips, that's the ones. Thank you. So I use these carabiner clips, but I only had 3. I didn't buy any, it was just what I had. So yeah, we want some proper hooks for it when we use it, but at this moment in time I'm going to put another reel across and use a cup hook, so it'll just hook on, and that should be okay with a bit of tension in the wire. So that'll give us a contact across the gate. So that's what we're going to do. So first thing I'm going to do is start from here, make enough to hook onto the next rope, and then knot it, and then reel off round and back. But I taped it all up yesterday and now I'm having bother undoing it, so I'll just break it off. I didn't want it all unreeling in the cupboard. So yeah, I put quite a lot of tape on, as you can see. Better have that in my pocket because goats will eat anything. Put it down on the floor, they'll probably come and get it. So what I need to do is get enough to go from this hoop across to where the gate's going to be. And that should be plenty. So if I thread that through this hole now, take it across, and then I want a knot at the top, so I'll just give it a little bit more and always trim it back down before I fasten it. This is not a how to do it video because I haven't got a clue. This is a how I'm doing it. I ain't very good at knots either. As long as it don't pull through, that's the main, yeah. And that should give me enough to go across and hook onto my other one. I know it looks a bit short, but don't forget you're going to have a hook on there. So it'll hook on quite nicely. So from there, just going to wrap it round once and just reel it out. Now they're quite easy to hook in. They have a hook going down and one going up, so all you need to do is that. Up. Then once we get back here, it's a matter of cutting it, wrapping it round, fastening it up, and that'll be this side. So we'll cut it about there, which gives us quite a long piece. Need to go back and get it. Thread it through. I'm going to make a loop around this end piece as well if I can. Maybe a bit short on the what I wanted for doing that. But there we go. And that just wraps around there. And it would hold together, but I'm going to put some tape on just to keep it together. Just stop it unwinding and stop the spiky ends getting me as well. So as I said, I'm going to make a bit of a hook onto the top one just to put the circuit round. So what I'm just going to do is wrap the wire around the hook and just tape it on. And as long as I leave contact, which will be the hook itself, we will get electric flowing. Nope, you want to break. I'll just go around that again because it's fastening tape all together. And that'll be that. So what we need to do is put another link wire down like these so that all the wires are linked. And I'm going to do that in each corner so that if one of these breaks at any point during the circuit, we will still have three or four wires still alive up to that point. As you can see, I already had these linked, and because I've added an extra one, I'm just going to have to link into that. So what I'll do is just tie it off there onto there. So I just need a length of wire. Twist it round a couple of times and I'm just going to tape it. It makes a good enough circuit. Go that way around the wire. And it's twisting it the same way as what I twisted the wire on. It won't unravel as I tape it. And then this one, I'll just run round that way.
These shoes are not appropriate for the farm. Oh.
So we're just going to carry on and do that in each of the four corners.
So this week I'm going to do a Portuguese recipe. It's a marinade that you can use on any meat. So it's a very basic one. So I've got about a pound of meat, and that's supposed to be 3/4 of a cup of red wine. I think it's a bit more, but never mind. And then I need to pop in some garlic. When I find the garlic press. I've got a garlic press at home. If you don't skin it, I've found that you can get all the bits out of your press a lot easier. It just comes out in one sheet like that. There's very little left in. Just looking at my recipe because I've never done it before, I must be honest. So we want some dried red pepper flakes or Portuguese red pepper sauce. So I've got the piri piri Portuguese spice, which is very similar to the sauce. So I'm just making it with what I've got really. Just find a tablespoon. I probably won't put a tablespoon in. Oh, that was £4, so really we just want a 1/4 of a tablespoon because I'm only doing £1. That's that. And a bay leaf. It's a fairly average size bay leaf. A bit of salt.
Give that a stir round. You can do it for a few hours, or you can marinate the meat for overnight. So I'm going to do it for overnight. So I'm just going to drop that in. Give it a good stir round. And then I'm going to cover it over and pop it in the fridge overnight. So that's been cooked in a slow cooker all day. I just added a little bit of oxo and water as well, and then Ellie Rose has done a rice dish with some red peppers, sweet corn and peas, and we're just going to sit down and eat that.
So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. So don't forget to ring the notification bell for future videos. And there's also links below for Instagram and Facebook for @Portugal Dreams. And also share it with your friends.